evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MISAT Bulletin, and we shall start with our headlines. Lebanese Parliament approves unity government. Second flight recorder recovered from Black Sea crash site. And moving on to our details, starting with Beirut. Lebanon's parliament has overwhelmingly approved a national unity cabinet headed by Prime Minister Saad al-Hariri. The vote of confidence on Wednesday came after lawmakers heard and debated the new government's policy statement, outlining its priorities for the coming month. The 128-member assembly approved the new cabinet 87-4, with one abstention, as only 92 members attended the session. It's worth mentioning that a new 30-member national unity cabinet headed by al-Hariri was announced on December 18th, and the premier voted that his top priority would be to protect the country from the effects of the civil war in neighboring Syria. Onto the Syrian profile, airstrikes carried out by unidentified aircraft killed at least 22 civilians, including 10 children, in a village held by the Islamic State group in eastern Syria. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said on Wednesday the civilians were from two families in the village of Hujna. It's worth mentioning that the village is located in the province of Deir ez-Zor, which is mostly under the control of IS, and has been regularly targeted by a US-led military coalition. In relation to the context, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says Saudi Arabia and Qatar should join its meeting with Russia and Iran to discuss Syrian peace efforts. Russia, Turkey, and Iran, which helped broker the withdrawal of civilians and militants from the Syrian city of Aleppo, have agreed to hold talks on Syria in Kazakhstan next month. Erdogan said on Tuesday the meeting of foreign ministers should include Saudi Arabia and Qatar, saying they had shown goodwill and given support to Syria. However, Erdogan added that Turkey would not take part if any terror organizations are also invited, referring to Syrian Kurdish groups affiliated with Kurdish insurgents in Turkey. On to Amman, Jordan's State Security Court sentenced 5 alleged members of the Islamic State group to death by hanging. The state-run Petra news agency said on Wednesday that 15 other alleged IS members were given sentences ranging from 3 to 15 years in prison with hard labor. The agency also said that 20 militants were convicted of killing a policeman, planning and practicing terrorist actions, manufacturing explosives, possessing weapons, and promoting terrorist ideas. From another aspect, the convicted IS members were arrested in a raid on their hideout in the city of Irbid in March. And going to the Russian crash jet, search teams on Wednesday recovered another flight recorder from a military plane that crashed in the Black Sea, killing all 92 aboard. The Defense Ministry said 15 bodies and 239 body fragments have been recovered from the crash site. From another aspect, the first flight recorder was found the previous day, and experts have started analyzing its data to determine the cause of the crash. The Tu-154 of the Russian Defense Ministry crashed into the sea early Sunday, 2 minutes after taking off from the city of Sochi. A massive recovery effort has involved 3,600 people flown to the site from all over Russia. On the other side of the world, the leaders of wartime enemies America and Japan made a poignant joint pilgrimage to Pearl Harbor on Tuesday, issuing symbolic declarations about the power of reconciliation and warning against the drumbeat of a conflict. 75 years after Japanese pilots brought war to idyllic Hawaii and dragged the United States in the Second World War, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe offered his sincere and everlasting condolences. Moreover, Abe and US President Barack Obama paid homage to the more than 2,400 Americans killed in 1941, delivering a wreath of peace lilies and standing in silence before a shrine to those lost on the USS Arizona. On On the other side, a herd of elephants attacked a village in southwest Nepal on Wednesday, killing one person and wounding two others. Government officials said the elephants attacked Prasni village at dawn, when there was not much light and poor visibility due to winter fog. Officials added that villagers did not see the elephants coming and did not have a chance to run. From another perspective, they said the village is close to Bardia National Park, home to many elephants, but it was rare for people to be killed by the animals. And moving on to our economic news. Shares meandered in quiet trading on Wednesday after the Dow Jones Industrial Average inched closer to 20,000 and the Nasdaq Composite rose to a record high. Germany's DAX was flat at 11,472.09 and the CAC 40 France edged 0.1% higher to 4,850.98. The FTSE 100 gained 0.2% to 7,083.94. Markets on Wall Street looked set to extend gains, with Dow futures up 0.1% and S&P 500 futures up 0.2%. Moreover, the Nasdaq rose 24.75 points or 0.5% to a record high 5,487.44. Meanwhile, Japan's Nikkei 225 was flat at 19,401.72, while the Shanghai Composite Index fell 0.4% to 3,102.24. And going to sports news. Mikaela Shiffrin took a slim lead in the opening run of a Women's World Cup giant slalom on Wednesday, positioning herself for a second win in as many days. The American defied strong winds and snowfall on the Panorama course to lead Victoria Ravensburg of Germany by 0.08 and Tessa Worley of France by 0.10 seconds. Federica Brignon of Italy was another 0.13 further back in fourth. From another aspect, Shiffrin took her 24th career win, but only second in GS at Tuesday's race, which replaced an event that was cancelled in Courchevel, France last week. And finally, strong winds prompted organizers to cancel a men's World Cup downhill race on Wednesday. This came as the upper part of the Deborah Compignani course was considered too dangerous. The International Ski Federation said the race will not be made up, leaving only 6 more downhills this season after the 2 already contested. From another aspect, the next downhills on the schedule are the classic Luberhorn in Hahnenkamm races in Wengen, Switzerland and Kitzbühel, Austria on January 14th and 21st respectively. And before ending our news, let's take another look at the most important headlines for today. Lebanese parliament approves unity government. Second flight recorder recovered from Black Sea crash site. And we reached the end of our NISAT bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us and wish you a happy, blessed New Year.